Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks 40k and welcome to the Imperialis Secundum. Welcome to the Ultramar system. A band of Iron Hands who survived the Isfel massacre have made their way to Ultramar. On their way, they've joined up with a band of brothers who survived Calth. So we have Iron Hands and Ultramarines together. They are patrolling the outer worlds of Ultramar, clearing them off of any traitorous brothers that they come across. And on this world they have stumbled across Death Guard. So, deployment markers are down. We are doing Clash of the Lines, which is deployment unique to 30k. So we've got these wonderful triangled deployment zones. And we are doing mission War of Lies. So basically there are 5 objective markers down. There's one here. There's one here at the back of this edge of the board. One has to go in the middle of the board. There is one here. And there is one over there. Now, these are not normal objective markers. Something special happens with these at the end of the game to work out how many victory points you score. So, without further ado, let's go take a look at the armies.
So here is our force today. This is a combined force of mine and Richard's. We're running it as a Shattered Legion. The HQ and the Warlord is my Iron Hands Praetor. He's in Cataphractii Terminator armour. He's got Lightning Claws. He has also been upgraded to be the Forge Master, which means that he's almost like a Tech Marine as well, so he gets the Power Fist attack. He's got a Cyber Familiar, which reduces his invulnerable save by 1, so he is actually a 2-up, 3-up. Second in command for today is Richard's Ultramarine Praetor, which is what you see is what you get. He's got the Chain Fist and he has a Combi Melter. And the third HQ choice is, again, what you see is what you get. It is a Chaplain. He's wearing Artificer armour. He has a Plasma Pistol and the Chaplain's Power Weapon. First troop choice is a 15-man tactical squad. The sergeant has a bolt pistol, power sword, and is in artificer armor. Second troop choice is a 14-man ultramarine tactical squad. Again, sergeant has the power sword and bolt pistol. And the third troop choice, because we are running the Pride of the Legion with the Praetor, is a veteran tactical squad. These are kind of pimped out. This is about, I think it's 185 points. So the sergeant has the Power Fist and Combi Melter. There is a Melter gun, there is a Power Sword, and then 2 guys with bolters, and they have Fearless. Elites, we have a Contemptor Mortis with 2 Carey's Pattern Assault Cannons. Ultramarine Suzerain Squad. Again, what you see is what you get. They've all got artificer armour, shields and axes. We have Gorgant Terminator Squad. No upgrades, just the power weapons. The guy at the front there, although he's not modelled with it, he has actually got a Thunder Hammer for them to be Gorgants. And another elite choice is the Contemptor Talon. So the one on the left is obviously the Ultramarine one with the multi-melter and power fist with a bolter built in. And then the Iron Hands one, which has got the Carey's Pattern Assault Cannon, Chain Fist, and then it's got the Havoc launchers on top. And then to finish off the army, we have a Land Raider. It has extra armour and it has the auxiliary drive. So if it gets immobilised, I can try and unstick it. And then the last one is the Whirlwind. I've completely forgotten its name, something like a Scorpius Whirlwind. You'll know what I mean. And that also has extra armour. Because this is a 2,500 point list, and this is a new force for me and Richard. There are a few extra upgrades that you probably wouldn't take in a competitive list, hence extra armour, extra armour. These two, well, in fact, all the dreads have got extra armour. So, yeah, it's probably not the most competitive force, but 2,500 points, Shattered Legion. I think Shattered Legion looks like it's going to be quite a powerful army anyway, because we can use Ultramarines tactics and Iron Hands tactics. The Death Guard force for today is led by a Primarch, Mortarion, and he has his bodyguard of 5 Death Shrouds, and there is a Primus Medicae in that squad too. What you see is what you get. The Death Shrouds have got melter bombs, and they will be rolling in a Spartan, which has obviously got a flare shield. Armoured Ceramite, Ed? Yeah, Armoured Ceramite on that. And for troops, we have a veteran tactical squad. Again, what you see is what you get. There's a power fist in there, there's a power sword, and they are riding in a rhino with a dozer blade. Second troop choice, another veteran tactical squad, power axe, power sword, riding in a rhino with a dozer blade. Yes, it is just a standard rhino, but Ed has gone to school on that. Very nice. We then have a Mortis Contemptor Dreadnought, 2 Keris pattern assault cannons, and the Havoc launcher on top. We then have a Sakaran battle tank. This is completely stock, isn't it, Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah, completely stock, that is. But it's obviously got the las cannon sponsons. We have a Whirlwind Scorpius, Xiphon Flyer, and then the last thing in Ed's army is the Storm Eagle with the multi-melters, Armoured Ceramite, and las cannon upgrades on that. So that's it. That's the 2,500 points of Death Guard with a Primarch. So here we have the Death Guard deployments. On the right flank there is the Spartan, that's got Mortarion in, it's got the Death Shrouds in, and the Primus Medicae. The Rhino there with a tactical squad in, veteran tactical squad. Scorpius Vindicator just behind that, getting a bit of cover. The Contemptor Dreadnought is just spearheading the advance there. Just behind him, the Sakaran battle tank, and then just taking a bit of cover, holding this objective at the moment, is a Rhino, and that has the veteran tactical squad in there. Our deployment is slightly messier looking. We haven't got as much in the way of transport. So these 2 Contemptors are in the Talon, so they have to deploy within 6 inches, but then they act independently after deployment, so they might be going off in a different way to each other. In the Land Raider we have the Invictus squad and all the HQs, so a bit of a mini Death Star, I guess. Not much compared to that Death Star, but yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Just taking some cover behind the Land Raider is the 15-man tactical squad. We have my Gorgant Terminators on my left flank, then the veteran tactical squad, and the other normal Ultramarine tactical squad there. And just here we have the Whirlwind Scorpius, so that's just got some good lines of fire down this side. It is a barrage weapon, so line of sight isn't as important for it, but that's it, that's what we can see. There's our deployment.
The Sakaran and the Contemptor Dreadnought have moved up through the defensive lines, heading down towards the Ultramarines and the Iron Hands. Robin's very kindly put my Dreadnought at the front. Thanks, Rob. The Whirlwind has stayed still. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Rhino stayed still. Scorpius Whirlwind has stayed still. Over here, the other Rhino and the Spartan have basically shot round. Looking at maybe coming down this side of the board, but got a good line of sight again at my dreadnought. Brilliant. The Sakaran and the Contemptor dreadnought opened up, but the Ultramarines dreadnought not doing anything at all. It managed to completely and utterly tank every hit that it took. However, the Spartan opened up with its las cannon that could see, taking down a hull point and immobilising it. Really helpful because that's in the way. And then this little bad boy here, the Whirlwind, opened up. It shelled all the way across the battlefield, hitting both the Iron Hands and the Ultramarines dreadnought. Not doing anything at all to the Ultramarines dreadnought, which is helpful for me. However, it removed 2 hull points from the Iron Hands one and immobilised it. So we have 2 immobilised dreadnoughts completely and utterly in the way of this entire force being able to break out. Yeah, there is a battlesmith in there, so he probably will be a little bit busy fixing these guys for the next couple of turns, while the rest of the army, fixing the Iron Hands and leaving the Ultramarines one alone. Thanks, Rob. While these guys probably just charge down on us, and we're all kind of sitting behind a Congo waiting for these guys to get out of their way.
Okay, so these 2 immobilised dreadnoughts caused me a bit of a problem. It meant that the Land Raider couldn't come through that gap. So the Land Raider has had to move sideways. He can get a line of sight with that gun across to that Contemptor, and the other gun firing through that window onto Sakaran. What I've had to do, I didn't really want to, because he is my warlord, but he is a battlesmith, so hopefully I can repair one of these dreadnoughts, make it more, well, useful in the battle, I guess, because we don't want 2 immobilised dreadnoughts that are both out of range of any shooting attacks. Not very good. Anyway, the rest of the army, the veteran squad just moved up 5 inches just behind the pipeline. Got a terrible move through cover roll of 3 and a 1, so Gorgons just stumbled over the pipeline really. Spread out these guys because there is a Scorpius Whirlwind and barrage not very good, and this other squad just moved up a little bit. We are a bit scared of Mortarion. He's got a very large threat range from that Spartan. That Spartan can move 6, he can disembark 6, and then he can do his ghost walk for 10 and still charge. So Mortarion is probably going to be here next turn, so we'll have to try and manage that. Okay, so the Land Raider here shot with the las cannon on this side through to the Sakaran, taking a hull point off. Using Power of the Machine Spirit, this las cannon shot the front of this Contemptor, managed to penetrate it, but unfortunately he got his save off on that. My Battlesmith that was there to save the day unfortunately forgot his toolkit, so they're both still immobilised.
And completely in the way.
Completely in the way. The Gorgons, this, all completely out of range. So we did a few little run moves to spread those out. They didn't run because they were a bit scared of the dangerous terrain, because notorious for rolling 1s with Terminators. This guy, however, I got a 5-inch move, so he's just ran around the corner, anticipating getting immobilised. So hopefully that gap might open up a bit, but I'm not sure we need it to anymore, but hey. And then the last thing that shot was the Whirlwind. It shot up and over at these 2, placed the template on this, scored a hit, in fact scored 3 hits, so that means that you can actually place the template within, I think it's 2 inches. So we flipped it over onto the Contemptor, scored a hit on that, penetrated hit and blew its right arm off, and scored another hull point on the Sakaran. So the Sakaran's only got 1 hull point left, and this is just down by 1 hull point. That was it. As I said, everything else was out of range.
As you can see, Ed's reinforcements are on. The Storm Eagle and the Xiphon Flyer are both on. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, considering Skyfire moved, Skyfire hasn't moved, but he's out of range. So, yeah, helpful. These two guys haven't moved at all. In the words of Ed, the Rhino has wiggled a little bit. Whirlwind hasn't moved at all. Shockingly, does such a good job standing still, launching its shells across the battlefield. And these two tanks have also wiggled a little bit, just basically repositioned. So they're kind of moving up the battlefield and kind of not. But then again, we are so troop heavy that I'm guessing Ed kind of wants us to come towards him so he can shoot us. But then we also now have the worry of the two flyers that are on. The Spartan tank opened up at the Contender Dreadnought that was making his run move around here, hitting it and penetrating it, taking off the left arm, leaving it on 1 hull point. Everything else of Ed's army, so this blob and including the Scorpius Whirlwind, opened up on the 2 Dreadnoughts down here. My Ultramarines one has 1 hull point remaining and has managed to soak up and tank quite a lot of the wounds. But Robin's Warlord, he was trying to fix the other one, he had it blown up in his face. So we are 1 Dreadnought down at the moment. So Ed at the moment is concentrating on these 2 here. And obviously this guy here, because this one now is the only one that can do any kind of Skyfire and pose any kind of threat to these flyers. What can the Shattered Legion do in response to the incoming Death Guard?
My veteran tactical squad only got a 4-inch move through cover, just jumping over that Promethean line there. Slightly better than the Gorgons though, they only got a 2-inch, so they've literally just shuffled up. This guy has stayed still, he is going to be skyfiring at one of those 2. The cowardly Ultramarines, as they're now known, have stayed back. These ones here have moved round and are looking to hopefully secure this objective there. Now you notice my Land Raider is sitting there. Yeah, he did move up over that cover, but in traditional Robin style, immobilised himself, so he's stuck there with about what, 600-700 points worth of stuff in there. So yeah, go that guy. That's why I bought the auxiliary drive, and he's got a battlesmith in there, so hopefully he will be moving next turn. Yeah, that didn't really go according to plan. This las cannon shot at the Sakaran again, but bounced. The other las cannon shot at the Contemptor, bounced. This Contemptor shot at that one, missed. This Contemptor sky-fired up at the Xiphon Flyer, only hit 3 times, only managed to penetrate once, and Ed jinked it. This guy, the Scorpius, he did do some work, kind of. Well, he actually hit. So hit the Sakaran twice and the Contemptor once, but they all bounced. So, yeah, our entire army's worth of shooting didn't even scratch the paintwork.
The Storm Eagle and the Xiphon Flyer have moved up around the board. I get the distinct impression Ed wants this guy dead. So he sent the flyers after it. These 2 guys have stayed still. The Rhino down here, again, wiggled. It's holding that objective. Stayed still, holding that objective. That's pretty much it, because not a lot else happened. Oh no, wait. Mortarion and the Death Shroud Terminators have gone out of the Spartan that has moved up. Now, Ed's been in a couple of our battle reports, and as you know, this very rarely happens. So it's nice to actually see Mortarion on the battlefield. And the Death Shroud Terminators on the battlefield and going into assault. So we can wave goodbye to these guys, pretty much everything down here once Mortarion gets into combat. But we'll see, maybe we'll pull him down with Bolter Fire. The Spartan opened up at the Ultramarines, Contemptor Dreadnought, taking off the last hull point. Yeah, thanks Ed. The other Contemptor Dreadnought, the Iron Hands one, was taken out by the other Contemptor Dreadnought, the Death Guard one. So he stayed still and then opened fire. The Xiphon Flyer opened up at the Land Raider, not doing anything at all. Storm Eagle opened up at my beautiful, lovely blue Ultramarines painted up Whirlwind, taking off a hull point, but that means that I can't fire blast weapons next turn because it is crew stunned. And then the final thing to shoot was the Whirlwind, which is all the way back there. Opened up at my Ultramarines troops, killing off 5 of them. So there's a bit of a hole in the middle. And then finally, Mortarion has used his ghost move to come up. He is 3 inches away from the Iron Hands that are here. Get the distinct impression he's going to be charging in. Mortarion made it into combat. He did take a wound to Snapfire. He ran in. He carved 3 Iron Hands apart with his scythe. However, they also managed to put a wound back on him, so he's down 2 wounds. But as he's got It Will Not Die, he managed to somehow miraculously grow a wound back. So he's only taken 1 in that combat. Now, it's a little bit unfortunate for the Ultramarines and the Iron Hands that the 2 guys didn't die, because these guys could have opened fire. And there have been a lot of shots coming in. However, we are locked in combat down here.
I am so glad I bought the auxiliary drive for this. Shut up, Ed. Yeah, rolled a 3, so they're still stuck in there.
The Ultramarines got bored, got out.
Yeah, Ultramarines got bored, got out.
It's not a tactic you use.
So
Being a coward.
I've lost control of this now. Yeah, so the Ultramarines decided to get out because they didn't want to do an Ed. So they're actually going to be proactive and walk foot slog across the board right in front of that Whirlwind there and probably get blown up. But
I'll take it.
But we'll take that because that's better than being stuck in a Land Raider doing nothing. The Gorgons have moved round and are looking to take on Mortarion. Yeah, they're probably going to die as well, but hey, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go.
These are reshuffled.
Yeah, these guys have...
Shuffled, just getting ready to shoot Mortarion when he kills you.
Right, okay, yeah.
Combat to the end.
Yeah, they're just sitting on the objective doing nothing to help. These guys have conga lined up to this objective. I don't think they're claiming it yet. And yeah, that's it. Everything else is dead or immobilised. So yeah.
It's going well.
It's going really well, as you can see. Nothing's scratched in it. So, yeah, okay, here we go. This Land Raider with the auxiliary drive and a battlesmith in it. Yeah, he's still immobilised. Apparently, the battlesmith doesn't want to fix him, so that was a really good upgrade I paid for on him. On the plus side, he did shoot through at the Sakaran and popped it, so we've actually killed something. Yay! We killed something. That was, however, the only thing we killed because he failed to penetrate the Contemptor with this lance cannon. These can't do anything to that. That guy, it's the only one which is actually hitting and damaging stuff, was shaken, so couldn't fire. So the little HQ squad ran just to get a bit closer to Morty, and the Gorgons, obviously, they've stayed still and are going to charge in to help out the veteran tactical squad there. This tactical squad, there was, I think it was about 8 of them in range of these guys here. Put quite a few shots into them, wounded a couple of times, but 2 up armor save and also a 5 up feel no pain from the Primus Medicae meant that yeah, they all got away with that unscathed. So yeah, let's move on to our assault phase, and you might actually see these guys all die horribly. So the Gorgons all charged into this combat, and something a bit strange happened. It turns out that Iron Hands are better at assault than they are at fixing or driving tanks or shooting. So yeah, Ferrus Manus is kind of rolling in his grave. So yeah, we've actually managed to take off 4 wounds, and Mortarion is concussed because one of the wounds was actually caused by the hammer bearer. So that's good. The 2 veteran guys actually put 3 wounds on him, so that was absolutely amazing because they needed 6s to wound him, and they managed to do it, and then didn't take any casualties in return. So I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it did, and that's probably the best thing that's happened the entire game from my dice rolls. So maybe we're going to see a bit of a turnaround here.
The Storm Eagle has gone into hover mode. It's either going to be concentrating fire on the Whirlwind or the troops that are heading up for the objective that are here. Really could do with getting rid of that. Don't think it's going anywhere though. The Contemptor has finally moved. It's moved up. It's heading towards the objective on the centre of the board. Do I swing the Ultramarines up, looking at taking this guy out, or not? I'm not sure on that one just yet. Round here, the squad inside the Rhino have gone out, just making sure they definitely score this objective here. Kind of hoping that Ed rolls a 6 when we're doing the thing, because that's minus 3 victory points if you roll a 6. So that's always fun. This one hasn't moved, still screwing that objective. Spartan, it's moved a little bit, but nothing really of note. However, the Death Shroud have moved up. They've watched Mortarion take 4 wounds in combat down here, so these guys are going up to support him. Again, the Ultramarines could come in, claim the scalp of a Primarch, and take these guys out, or they could go over here towards this Contemptor. But we've got to survive edge shooting first. The Contemptor Dreadnought opened up at the Invictara squad, killing off 2. There was another one pulled down by the power of the Machine Spirit. The bolters on here. The last cannons opened up at the Land Raider, doing nothing at all. So I'm down to 1. Yeah, I'm down to 1 left. And my Praetor and my Chaplain. So good thing they're fearless with Zealot. The Land Raider was opened up on by the Storm Eagle. That did nothing at all. This guy opened up with the Mortar Melters down here, taking off a hull point and causing crew stunned. However, we did pay for extra armour, so I can still shoot next turn. Which we did forget last turn, but we'll just, yeah. This squad took a casualty from the Whirlwind, which meant they had to do a leadership check. They failed, rolled a 12, then rolled an 11 to run away. So they are all the way back here. But I will automatically rally them at leadership 10 next turn, thanks to the Ultramarines. So it's going to be over to combat down here. Can we pull down a Primarch? As you can see, the Death Shroud Terminators made it into combat to support Mortarion. And as you can see, the Iron Hands, yeah, they didn't really stand a chance. They kind of got wiped out very easily. Robin is pulling a very sad face. He's looking very upset. Ed isn't. Ed's laughing in a manic, evil, heretic kind of way. So he's now part of the Death Shroud unit again. He's on Mortarion. I think these guys might be opening fire. I was going to take these into combat, but yeah, that's not happening. So I think it's just a case of let's shoot these guys to hell and back. The Ultramarines at the back of the board have rallied. They've moved up, looking at putting their fire down on Mortarion and the Death Shroud that are down there. They are being supported by the Ultramarines Praetor, Chaplain, and the one remaining Invictara squad guy. The Iron Hands Praetor has jumped out of the Land Raider. I think he's got a bit bored of trying to repair it. So he is now out, rejoining this squad, getting ready to lay fire down over here. I think they are target priority. And then these guys are their nice little gun line, all staring down at the Death Shroud Terminators and Morty as well. So these guys are going to open fire first over there, because there is the rule with the Ultramarines that means that I can reroll any fails of 1 to wound when the same target is opened up on by another squad. So these guys first, followed by these guys, rerolling any ones. And then this can fire as well. I'm not quite sure what at. Probably the Contemptor Dreadnought trying to take it off that objective down there. So basically, every single Ultramarine, these guys, those guys, and the Whirlwind down there, all opened up on Mortarion and his Death Shroud Terminators. Now these guys open up with Fury of the Legion, so it means they get to fire 4 shots each rather than the normal 2 for rapid fire. Taking out, I think it was like 3 of the Terminators, and then from the Whirlwind, and then from the Fury of the Legion, killing his Primus Medicae and taking a wound on Mortarion. However, there was 9, I did like 20 or 19, I think it was, wounds, and it pretty much saved them all. I think it only fouled like 3, which is a little bit annoying. So we're going to see if I can make it into combat with these guys here, just to basically tie them up, because with Fury of the Legion, it means these guys can't shoot next turn. So a little bit vulnerable if these guys were to run in, they couldn't overwatch. So I need to kind of tar pit them a little bit. Oh yes, I've almost forgot, the Iron Hands kind of helped us.
We contributed.
You did not contribute. Oh. The las cannons over here opened up at the Whirlwind, missing. This las cannon span round shot at the Flyer. Yeah, missing that as well, so thanks you.
He's jinking.
Oh, he's jinking though, that's a fair point, but thanks for your help, Rob. So they made it into combat. There was a challenge issued by Mortarion, which was accepted by the Invictaris squad member that was alive. Managed to do a wound on Mortarion and then got pulled down. Managed to save 2 with the boarding shield, but then lost the 1 wound, so he died. Basically then the Iron Hands Praetor, my Praetor and my Chaplain just thumped the remaining Terminator that was there, and then Mortarion. So the Terminators have gone, Death Shroud are no more, and Mortarion is left with 1 wound.
Tanked 5 invulnerable saves.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, Mortarion did. He should be dead.
6, actually 6.
He did survive 6 invulnerable saves. Ed just super rolling from Super Ed means that this guy's still alive, annoyingly. But I'm sure he or us will be dead next turn. Probably us.
The Rhino has moved up and disembarked the veteran squad there, so they are now scoring that objective. Same over here. This Rhino, the squad has got out and they are now on that objective. The Xiphon Flyer has come back on, and the Contemptor Dreadnought has moved round, trying to get a line of fire on all of that blob squad there. And the Storm Eagle is still in hover mode. It's probably going to pop that and take the 2 last remaining hull points off the most useless Land Raider in the area. The Contemptor Dreadnought here actually shot across into this squad, fired its Havoc launchers and the assault cannon, and only managed to kill 2 of those, some good cover saves and misses and things like that. The Storm Eagle fired its multi-melter and its las cannons into the Whirlwind, really needed to blow that up to get a victory point, so he managed to do that and power the Machine Spirit, the missile launchers, into that squad, caused 10 wounds, because it's AP4, managed to save 8 of them, so only 2 guys died from that squad. Everything else shot at my Land Raider, which managed to tank pretty much everything apart from 1 glance. So yeah, he's still alive somehow. Could have gone better. There was obviously the 3 characters locked in combat with Mortarion. Mortarion issued a challenge, accepted with the Ultramarine Praetor. Now, in a challenge, obviously you can't fight into the challenge, but because the Chaplain and my Praetor were a higher initiative, they strike first, and then after the challenge has been resolved, those wounds sort of carry over into the challenge, if that makes sense.
We think.
We're pretty sure that's right. Mortarion then got to hit. He caused 4 wounds on the Praetor, which were all instant death. So Richard obviously failed the first one, so instantly killed his Praetor, then instantly killed the Chaplain, and I needed to roll 2 3 up in Vuns because of the Cyber Familiar on my Praetor, and unfortunately I failed 1, so he wiped out all of those characters. So he's got Slay the Warlord there. He then had to take the 2 wounds that my Praetor and the Chaplain had done, but managed to save both of those because they were just at his normal 2-up armor save. So yeah, a little bit of a tricky combat to do there, but yeah, Mortarion. Yeah, Mortarion is back free to run where he likes, and he also with It Will Not Die got a wound back. So yeah, this guy's a complete and utter jerk. So yeah, and so's whoever brings him to the table. Oh, sorry about that. Ed's just walked back in the room. Oh, sorry about that.
The tactical squad have moved up, getting ready to shoot Mortarion. The Land Raider managed to fix himself and move across the rubble and not immobilise himself. Well done, Rob. He's only been stuck there all game. So he came round here. So Auxiliary drive.
Worth all the points.
Yeah, that's points well spent. So the Land Raider and this squad opened up at Mortarion. These guys can't fire because they fired Fury of the Legion last turn. At Mortarion, who is still alive. He's taken an extra wound from the Land Raider, but unfortunately my guys didn't actually do anything over there. So he is still alive. That is the end of the battle. So we're going to now work out victory points. So guys, we've just worked out victory points, and at the moment it is 11-3 to the Death Guard. However, for each objective marker held, we have to roll the d6. On a roll of 1, there are no victory points issued. 2 to 3, 1 victory point. 4, 2 victory points. 5, 3 victory points, and a 6 is minus D3 victory points. So then, Ed, do you want to roll the dice for this objective? Ed has rolled a 4, so he's plus 2, so that's now 13-3. And then, Ed, you hold this one here. So roll the dice. It's a 2, so it's 1. So it's 14-3. So we can't win. But anyway, just for the hell of it, Robin, roll a don't roll a 6.
Oh, it was.
It's a 4, which is plus 2. So we finished on 5.
Yes.
So it was 14 victory points to 5. So there you go then, guys. That is the end of the battle. That was a good win for the Death Guard there. Lessons learned, I think, for the Ultramarines and the Iron Hands. But, you know, that is our first game of 30k with these armies. So there's obviously things that need adding and things that we need to learn and do slightly different, because 30k is, even though it's based on the 40k rules, it is a completely different game. And this guy I dislike, and I'll be glad to get Gulliman involved and slap him in the face. So, as always, guys, please leave us a comment. It'd be great to hear your feedback, like if you like. And please press that big red subscribe button. Like I said before, it gives us a nice fuzzy feeling inside when you do that. And we will see you guys on the next one.